Hey everyone, I'm Coach Kozak from HASFIT, and today I want to talk to you about what it takes to become a successful personal trainer. I hope to open your mind to a few things that are rarely talked about but are crucial to making a good income from personal training. I wanted to make this video because I know I have a lot of followers out there that are either aspiring personal trainers or current personal trainers. So why should you listen to me? Well, the number one reason you should listen to me is because I'm not trying to sell you anything. Never take advice from somebody who's trying to sell you anything, like a personal training certification. The next reason is because I have 15 years experience in the fitness industry. I've literally held every position in the gym, from personal trainer to sales manager to general manager. I really have done it all. And in those 15 years, I've seen dozens of people quit because they just couldn't make a living at personal training. So here are my top 10 tips to becoming a successful personal trainer. Tip number one is sales. Sales are the lifeblood of any business, and personal training isn't any different. I've seen absolutely amazing trainers that were dead flat broke because they couldn't sell. And I've also seen terrible trainers that would hurt their clients almost every day that were rolling in dough because they were good at sales. Now, I'm not here saying it's right. Actually, I hate this fact, but it is the truth. So if you're going to personal train and you want to make a living at personal training, well, then you better get good at sales. And for any of you out there that may have some type of moral struggle with the sales process, think of it this way. If you can't sell them, then you can't help them. Tip number two is marketing. Now, your marketing strategy is going to be different depending on what city you're in, whether you're working for a gym and they're giving you leads or you're totally out on your own, and what your target demographic and your target client looks like. But no matter what, you need to have some type of marketing strategy and some type of marketing plan. Now, all things being equal, your marketing plan needs to include the following. A social media strategy. Where are your target clients and how do you reach them? For instance, Facebook tends to have a little bit of an older demographic, where Instagram has a little bit of a younger demographic. So know who you're trying to reach and know how to reach them. You are your own brand. You need to know that brand. That brand is easily defined as your identity. So how does that identity and how does that brand connect and correlate with your target audience? Stay consistent with that brand. Now, if you are a muscle-bound bodybuilding guy and you want to train other bodybuilders, that's great. Stick to that, use it, own it, but then don't go try to train 6-year-old little ladies the other half of the day. So stay consistent in your branding. That includes your logos, how you carry yourself, how you dress, the content you put out on your Facebook or Instagram page, etc. Know your brand and own it. And lastly, this kind of ties it all in, just overall knowing who your target demographic is. If you want to go after high school football players, then maybe put an ad in the high school football newspaper. Or if you're trying to go after high-end clientele, maybe sponsor a golf fundraiser. But whoever that target is, you have to have a target before you can reach them. Don't just blindly, spend your money wherever or put your time wherever and hope that something sticks or something takes off. Have a plan and have a direction of how you're going to meet and reach your target demographic. Tip number three is remember that not everyone is trying to make it into the NFL. Too often I see trainers that don't know what to do with beginners, seniors, people that are struggling with obesity or physical limitations. Now you have to remember, just because you're in amazing shape and you can do all these crazy movements doesn't mean that everybody else can. Spend some time, learn the modified versions, the low impact versions of your favorite exercises. Now also remember that most people are just trying to be in better shape than they were yesterday, and more often than not, that doesn't include lifting 400 pounds. Tip number four is to be organized. You need to have a planner or a calendar on your phone or some concrete system of knowing when all of your appointments are, and be there early and never late. Make sure that you have some type of set system for how you're going to do sales, how you're going to do your clients' meal plans, and how you're going to do their entire workout programs. Now, if you're like the fly by the seat of your pants type of person, then that's going to work against you. Remember that the majority of your clients, the people that have money to hire a personal trainer, are the more organized, professional individuals. And if they view you as being unprofessional, you're late, you don't know what you're doing, you seem like you're kind of making it up as you go along, well, they're going to notice. Tip number 5 is to have at least 3 months living expenses saved up before you start personal training. Now, for the most part, personal training is not an hourly or a salaried position. So you're going to get paid based on how many clients you actually train. And if you're just starting off, that number is going to be really low and you're not going to be making a lot of money. That's why I recommend having at least 3 months of your living expenses saved up before you start. This is where I see a lot of people get tripped up and they just don't have the money. They get discouraged right from the get-go. They don't understand that it takes time to build up a quality clientele. You have to hustle, you have to grind, and you really have to get out there and sell. Back to tip number 1, if you're going to make this thing work. If you're working at a gym, you may be fed some leads, but you're still going to be expected to close those leads. So no matter what, make sure that you protect yourself and don't set yourself up for failure. If you only have $5 in the bank account, I don't recommend starting a new job as a personal trainer. Tip number 6 is to be professional. Don't ever let your guard down all the way. Don't cuss, don't tell dirty jokes, don't talk to them the same way that you talk to your best friends, and don't flirt or have relations with them. This may be fun at first, but it won't be fun when it ends and your paycheck goes down. Show up on time and be prepared to start. And then the other part of that's a big pet peeve of mine, which is when you're training your clients, put your phone away. Just have some respect when it comes to that. Now, I do want you to be friendly with them. Yeah, you should be friends, but the overall goal is just don't let your guard down. Where with your best friend, it's okay to, show up 15 minutes casually late, or maybe you're sitting there at lunch and you have your phone out half the time. Well, that's okay, that's your friend. Now, you can be friendly. There's a difference between being friendly and being friends. Stay professional. Tip number 7 is to be a good listener and a therapist. Now, if you don't consider yourself a people person and you just don't like to talk to people altogether, well then this probably isn't the field for you. Some of the most successful trainers that I've ever met have just been great at speaking to people and building friendships. Think of it this way. Once your client reaches their goal, what's going to keep them coming back? Now, if they use you to vent and open it up to you about their bad day or how much their mother-in-law is annoying them, then who are they going to talk to when you're gone? Tip number 8 is to get results. Now, I know that sounds kind of funny to say, yeah, that should be obvious, but I'm always amazed at what a low percentage of clients working with trainers actually see real results. Now, it might be great, you close this client for 4 months, okay, I'm counting on this income for the next 4 months. Well, at the end of that 4 months, if they haven't seen any results, well, then they're going to quit and your pocketbook is going to suffer. So here are my keys to making sure that your clients are getting results. Key number 1 is to provide a nutritional or a meal plan for them and to go over it with them in detail. Now, with my clients, on your very first session, when you came in for your very first paid session, we didn't even work out. I spent the entire time going over that meal plan with them. It's so important because that's where they're going to see the real results. Now, yeah, you might be with them 30 to 60 minutes, a few times a week, but what are they doing when they're not with you with the knife and the fork? So that has to be your key priority. Stay on them about their food. Key number 2 is to give them homework for their off days. So let's say they come see you 2 days a week. Make sure that you're giving them stuff to do a couple other days a week. Don't just think that they're going to go off on their own and know what they're doing. Take that extra 5 minutes to plan out a couple extra workouts for them for the rest of the week. It'll really pay off in the long run. The third key is to provide accountability. That's one of the biggest things they're actually paying you for. When they come in at the start of the session, ask them how they're doing, how did their workout, how did their homework go, how are they doing following the meal plan, have they had any cheats, what have they ate today, all those little questions, and then it's going to build up in their brain. They're going to know that when they come in, you're going to ask them these questions. So they're actually going to be less likely to cheat because, well, they know you're going to ask about it. And then when they leave, make sure that they have a plan for what they're going to do before the next time they see you again. So make sure you're creating a plan and providing accountability. The fourth and final key may sound a bit funny, but man, is it important and true. You actually need to work out to get results. I know, it's a shocker, but so many times I've seen clients come in and they spend 75% of their time just sitting there talking with the trainer. Yeah, I want you to be friendly with them and you need to be a good listener and you need to be an outlet for them, but you still need to stay on task and work out. Don't let them guide or overtake the session and defeat the entire purpose of coming to begin with. So make sure that you're keeping the intensity level at an appropriate level. Now, tip number 9 is sure to cause a little bit of controversy, but here it comes. Certifications and degrees do not make you successful in the fitness industry. Let that sink in for a moment here. Now, I know there are a bunch of people out there trying to sell you their certifications and they'll promise you that, yeah, the second you get this certification, the money will roll in, but it's just not true. And I consider this to be the dirty little secret of the fitness industry. I mean, I can give you numerous examples of people that I know, friends of mine, that either have extensive certifications or degrees in exercise science that aren't even doing anything in the field anymore because they just couldn't make a living personal training. One friend of mine finished his bachelor's in exercise science, and within 4 months, he quit being a personal trainer and moved on to work for some oil company. And then another friend of mine has a master's in exercise science, not just a bachelor's, but a master's in exercise science. And I'm sorry, Nick, but he works at Lululemon. So what does that say about how important and vital it is for you to have a long list of certifications or a degree in exercise science? Hiring managers don't care how many certifications you have. The only thing they care about is, can you sell? It's a sad truth, but it is the truth. Most states don't even require that you have a license or a certification of any type to train. No prospective clients are going to ask you about your certifications. Or are they going to be impressed that you're WFE, BFE, WUZ certified? Their only value comes in the knowledge and education that comes with them. Don't get me wrong, that is really important. Yes, obviously you have to have that knowledge and that education to have success and to not hurt your clients and to make sure you help them reach and achieve their goals. But it does not ensure that you're going to be successful as a personal trainer. It's a very small piece of the overall puzzle. The final and 10th tip is to learn the art of tough love. Now, what is tough love, you may be asking? Tough love is knowing when to give love and support and knowing when they may need a firm kick in the behind. It's like walking a tightrope. If you're too soft, then you kind of become a pushover and they feel like they can do whatever they want. But if you're too harsh, then they're going to push back and they're going to defy you out of spite. It's really walking a fine line. You want your clients to feel guilty if they miss an appointment, and you want them to feel like they let you down if they cheat on their diet. Clients respond better to being motivated and encouraged, opposed to being yelled at by a drill instructor. Never forget that you're working for them and not the other way around. Client retention should be your #1 goal. Because remember, it's always cheaper to keep a client than it is to go out and get a new one. If you take genuine pride and joy in your client's successes, while always being there to pick them up when they stumble and fall, then you'll have a loyal client for life. All successful personal trainers have one thing in common. They have the ability to build meaningful coach and student relationships that last a lifetime. Thank you for joining me today. All of these tips have been based on my experiences. Maybe you've had different experiences, maybe yours will line up the same, but either way, I hope you were able to take something away from this. If you like this video, you can go ahead and check out my vlog on HASFIT's website where I have more of these videos. Or we also have hundreds of free workouts, our free meal plans to lose or gain weight, as well as our complete 30 to 90 day fitness programs. If you did like this video, please do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll really help us keep this great service free. Like us on our Facebook fan page or follow us on Twitter. It will make sure that you get the best daily motivation. While you're at it, you can always pick up our new app, the HASFIT Interactive Trainer, and you can take us with you wherever you go. I'm Coach Kozak from HASFIT, and I'll see you at your next workout.